Hello everybody and welcome back to another video of this series where I service Seiko quartz chronograph from the 1980s, specifically a 7A287030. As you know from the preceding videos, this is the case that I cleaned up. The pushers were all junked up. Now the pushers are working nicely and precisely. And now it's the turn to address the issues of this movement. As you can see, it's a bit discolored. The hands should be what you see in white. The white hands, they should be colored. This should be a bright orange. And the dial is also quite discolored, and you can see the difference in tone from the outer ring, which is under the tachymeter ring inside the case, which has retained its original color. It's a bright orangey yellow dark color, with the rest of the dial which is quite yellowish fainted. So this is the story. I clean also the crown and stem, which was pretty dirty. And now let's just tackle this movement. Because it needs badly a service. So what I am now doing is removing the hands with a couple of hand removers, and to do so I will place a plastic back to avoid damaging the dial, which is already damaged by the way because it has some fittings. So chronograph second, hour and minute hands are off. I am just looking a proper place where to put them, which I don't have at the moment. Anyway, so I will have to lay them on the table for a second until I manage a box. So, okay. There is also some discoloring on the hands. Plastic bagel, and here it goes. 1, 2, and 3. One, 2, 3. I will first remove this side of the movement because it's the most fragile due to the dial, of course, and then just turn the movement over and address the proper movement side. And let's see if I can get the proper size of screwdriver. And the dial is, let me zoom in a bit. Okay. Yep, it's sharp enough, I guess. Yes. So the dial is held in place by 2 screws. One is down here and the other one is up here. So I will just widen up the picture a bit. Okay. And let's go. Nope, it's too big. I have to We do a smaller one. Okay, this one goes away easily. Okay. Cool. This one also removes pretty easily. So, and now I will try and lift the dial very carefully. There you go. So apart from the discoloring, the dial is in good condition, except for the, see, I'll turn it the other way around. Don't worry about the tips of my gloves. They're stained, but they're clean. There's no grease on it. Anyway, so as you can see, there's some discoloration and some flaking of the paint here, and some black goop over there, and also some black dots down here, which I will try to gently remove later. The problem is that this is the metal is probably aluminum, anodized aluminum, so I fear that since here, or painted aluminum looks like, because the paint is flaking. Here, you see that? So it's really flaking, so it's bubbling underneath. That side is under the tacker ring, so it's not going to be visible, but anyway. And then you have this, and yep, that's pretty clean. There's some oil over there, but it's anyway, it's gonna be everything cleaned up in a machine, so I just want to be sure that everything is correct. And now turn the movement over. Checking that I'm not damaging the posts. And here we go again with screws. It's kind of slippery. So I'll put all the screws here together. Okay. That's one. That's pretty dirty. This one slips all the way. I'm going to address my screwdrivers a bit better. And this one has a fixed, which makes it harder to hold it. Don't worry about what I'm saying. I am just mumbling around, so, and there you have it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So there are some signs of discoloration, some sign of rust over here, which coincide with this spot here. There, but nothing too dramatic. This one's towards bath. Then a bit of Rodico to clean the circuit block whilst is it still in its place, which makes it a little bit easier to remove that oil stains. And then there you go. This just goes inside a plastic bag. The screws will be cleaned in a different way. And there you have it. Everything will be properly cleaned, degreased. Sorry. Cool. Some signs of rust. Yep. From the switch levers. Cool, cool, cool. Now, first thing first, I will grab my trusty multimeter, if I can find it. There we go. And check the proper resistance of the coils. And see if they are within specs. So it's easier. And coil number 1. Oh. That was in bolts, not in, sorry. .059 in spec. 2.033, 2.644, 2.646. So 2.644, 2.647 now, inspec 2.059, and this should be a similar value. 2.033. Great. All the coils are working perfectly, are within specs. So everything is basically fine with the electrical stuff. So let's go on. Let's remove then these coils before they get damaged. These are quite hard to find as well, and quite expensive to three, 4. This is gonna be the longest video, by the way. This 4 screws are smaller than the other ones, so it's no problem mixing with the rest of the screws. They are easily identifiable one from the other. Now, oops, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So coils are inside the bag with the circuit block, as you can see. So they are safely put away, and I can go on with disassembling the movement. If you want to know what are the names of the parts that I am disassembling, just check out another video that I made restoring 7838 or even the 7848. The movements are identical in each and every part and way, except for the part that goes under the dial. Since, as you may expect, the 2.8 is without date complication. 3.8 is with date complication 148 is with the date complication and moon phase. There is also a 3-4 version which has a different outline. Oops, springy. A different layout for the date complication. It has no for the date complication and has no date complication. So, oh, blah. There is a. There we go. And let's remove this one. I will first clean all the parts that are not wheels, so all the bridges and whatnot, and then inspect very carefully all the wheels for damage. All the wheels are luckily different, so there's no issue. In mixing them all up, I got the manual so I can check up with the manual which wheel belongs where. But they're quite intelligently marked, and I will show you this later. Now this is the most problematic bridge because it is held on place with only 2 screws, which is good. I mean, not so many screws to take care of. But the problem is that it holds very large numbers of wheels and cogs underneath. So when you remove it, you gotta be really careful not to tip it one side on the other. And also when you place it back, you have to be careful not to obviously damage any of the tips. So that's a 7A28 movement. And you can see the sheer complexity of it. They say that this is a quartz movement. Yeah. It has many more parts than a normal quartz movement, believe me. Even than a normal chronograph. Okay. And now the fun part is the set lever assembly. I will show you how it works later on. Reassembling the movement. Now I am focused on getting this little puppy apart. Ooh. The Japanese made an over-complicated movement indeed, but I am so glad that they did. Really. There you go. I'm really so that glad. The sheer ingenuity that goes inside this thing is amazing. It's really amazing. Because of their initial project, their idea to do an overly complicated quartz watch in the 80s. I mean, the quartz watches were basically invented in 1969. Seiko was the first one, basically, also. And yeah, the thing is that roughly 10 years later, they came out with the first quartz chronograph, which it works until today. I mean, it's amazing how this thing's with the proper maintenance, which unfortunately they don't usually see. They are just amazing pieces of engineering. Okay, that won't move easily, so we'll do that last. The other two just came out pretty easily, and this one is the problematic one, which does move, but it has a fair amount of rust. So, oh, there you go. So, I don't want to bend it over. Let me take a little bit of rust out before I try to. I don't want to bend it, trying to remove it, but I have to. This is going to be tricky. Okay, well, it's out of his axis, so I should be able to lift it gradually from all sides. And if I try to grab with the tweezers this side, not sure if we're going to do it. Oops, it's quite tricky. Let's do it the other way around. Oh, no, I see why. It's going to be tricky as hell. Come on. Come on, bugger. come up, come up, come up, come up. It's coming. So the post of the switch is a little bit rusty, or at least it's dirty. There you go. It's intact. And there are signs, very slight, faint, I would say, signs of rust, but the grease that they used to protect them has basically stopped it and avoided that it spread all over the place, so which is good. Which is really, 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 really good. Okay then, so that's the plate. As you can see, it needs some cleaning. And this is the